Welcome back to Just Railroading. Alright everybody, so today we're going to be restoring this 1664E. This is one of the items I got in that auction last video. It's in pretty decent shape as far as the shell and the paint and everything. Tender's got some scratches, but that's no big deal. The main problem with this locomotive is, for one, it don't want to run, and for two, it's missing the drive rods on one side. Now, I have already removed the drive rods off of this side because I was wanting to polish them up. They're currently sitting in the vibrator polisher. So hopefully those will be ready to go pretty soon. I did order all the new stuff to go on the other side. So hopefully I can get all that put on whenever I get it. Locomotive is in pretty good condition. Shell's in really nice shape. Not a lot of scratches, not a lot of dings. So that's that's usually the most important part about these, because that gunmetal gray, you can't really match it with anything. But let's go ahead and start tearing into it and see what's wrong with it. Alright, so I don't know exactly what's wrong with this locomotive. I did try to run it in the video I made getting all this stuff. Couldn't get it to do anything, and the brushes were clean, so I don't really know what the deal is with it. So I just hope it's not burned up or anything. But we'll go ahead and tear it apart here. It is in pretty good condition as far as, physical condition. Mechanical condition, I don't know. Might be where it gets it. In the past, I have cut these down, make them shorter to make that gap tighter, but since I've got the original tender and it's got the original thing on it, I figure I'll just leave it alone. Leave one of them original. Plus I might get some cars, some of the template cars, to go with it. So we'll just leave it alone. Now, I did get a new pilot truck. So I've got to take that little pin out and replace that. They're kind of pricey. I think that light bulb's good. Okay, let's see. Trying to figure out what holds this in there. It looks like if I take these screws out, it'll just pop out of there. So pretty simple design. It's made, I think, just like the 1666 shell. I think. Oops. I'll get them out of there in a minute. I know they're all the same, but I think it actually is designed just like the 1666 shell. The gunmetal gray one, anyway. And there's our little problem. I don't know what could be causing it. I do see some green corrosion on the unit wires. That might be some of the problem. Okay. I'll pull the rest of this off later. Just those 2 screws, this comes off. You got to unbend your little hand rails, and then this will drop out. There would have been a whole lot more to it than what I just did. But since I've already took the drive rods and stuff off, wasn't that complicated. Okay. Yeah, I'm probably going to replace this wire. It's starting to crack and crumble. Still got a coating under it, but yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely going to replace that wire. I don't have no spring. Well, I guess it doesn't need a spring. You just tighten the light bulb into it. Okay, let's see now. I think I'm going to go ahead and desolder this. Okay, I couldn't get it to desolder, so I'm just going to have to cut it. Set that over there. Alrighty. Let's see. Hook power to it. We'll see what it does. Okay. Now see one thing, this wheel is like loose. So I might have to put a little glue on that or something to tighten that up. And then these are pre-war wheels, so they're probably suffering from the old zinc rot. Slowly but surely. Okay, so I'm going to hook power straight to it, bypass all that. Okay, well it runs, that's a good sign. But it's also taking every bit of the 16 volt that transformer will give it. Okay. At least know it runs. Alright. I'm going to go on ahead and a lot of the issues probably coming from these pickups. Yeah. There's a little spring inside of there. And the wheels too. The wheels are pretty bad dirty. Alright. I'm going to pull the brush plate off, clean the brushes. Do that stuff now. Probably gonna have to flip it over and do the wheels, clean the wheels up, which is something I haven't done in a while because I haven't had to. So this one's sort of a... The brushes look nice. I don't know if they've been replaced, but they look nice. Whenever I clean brushes up, I just use alcohol. Plain old, I think it's 90% alcohol. It takes that oily black nastiness off. This isn't half bad. It's not as bad as I've seen. Which was why I was concerned, because I could tell by looking at it, it should run. I guess it's just old, dry lubricants that are causing it to have issues, but these motors aren't very powerful. Usually. That's actually clean enough. Okay. Now when you're cleaning in here, I had some smaller Q-tips at one time, but you got to rip a little bit of the cotton off. Make it smaller. Okay. And that'll let you get down inside of here. Give it a little twist. And look at all that stuff that come out of there. I'll do the other side now. I don't know if I got enough off of it or not. Nope, didn't get enough off of him. Still cleaned it though. Rip some more off so it'll go on in there. There it went inside. That wasn't too bad. Still dirty though. Okay. Now, the brushes. Now the way I clean these, I just take me a piece of paper towel. Soak me a little alcohol on it. You're just wanting to wipe it off. Now the springs will come off. This one's already coming off. I think it was already coming off anyway. Oop, there it went. Okay. We'll get him back on in a second. Just want to clean that same stuff you just washed out of there off of these. It's an AC motor. It has arcy. It arcs a good bit. It's an AC motor. It arcs a good bit, so that's why all this stuff's so black from the arcing. You can get new brushes. You can look on eBay. You'll find lots. Like, not lots, but actual selling lots. Get like 10 sets or something like that of these kind. And the other kind, you can get them too. Ones that have the spring made into the brush plate. Now this is always a challenge, trying to get this stupid spring back on. There's one. Do apologize for not having a video the last 2 weeks. We've had some nice weather here. And I haven't really been able to go outside and do much, so I've been taking advantage of that. I usually put a little grease on here, but I'm not going to do it this time because I found it doesn't really help. Okay. Again, this wasn't that bad. I could have, I wouldn't even had to have done this. But I wanted to. Okay. I'm going to put a little bit of super glue on that wheel. Alright, now we're going to oil it up. I went on ahead and polished the wheels up a little bit just to kill out some of that ugly white stuff that was on them. So I'll put a little bit on there. I might have put a little bit more than a little bit, but it'll be okay. That worked in there good. I did glue that one wheel back, tightened it up. That done it right there. Just doing that helped. Get a little bit worked in that gear. Do the axles. That took care of it. Right, now I just got to grease it up. My little medical syringes are starting to give trouble with this petroleum-based grease and oil. Starting to swell up. I'm thinking about getting some synthetic motor oil and trying that out. Seeing how good that would work and stick around, because I've noticed something. This 3-in-1 oil, it dries up after a while. It's like it soaks in, dries up. Alright, I'm going to try it again. I'm going to try it on the track this time. Let's see how it does with the track. And then we'll clean the wheels if it doesn't work this time. I say that might have fixed it. The E unit, I think, is some of the problem. Yeah. Okay. Well, we know it's running, so I think I'm gonna clean these wheels up real quick, and we'll start working on the actual shell and everything, getting that cleaned up. All right, so I got the shell, got it all cleaned up, took it in the house, washed it. Paint's in really good shape on it. Does have a little bit of corrosion. You kind of see it. Spots of corrosion. So I'm getting ready to polish it. I'm just going to use some regular old turtle wax paste polish. Now the way that I did the last one I did like this, I got this, I did the 1666 that I redone gunmetal gray. And it had a lot of paint, like damage. So I used turtle wax, rubbed it all over it, and then I took, this is a new shoe polish brush, so it doesn't have any kind of, contaminants in it of shoe polish. It's just clean. So I took that and run it over it, and it brought that paint right back, and even shined up the metal, and you really couldn't see the chips anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to this, but before I do, I just remembered I've got to put 2 new marker lights in here. I'm going to go ahead and do that first, because as soon as I put that polish on, I won't be able to put new marker lights on. So I'm going to go ahead and get those in, and then we'll start applying the wax. Alright, well, I figured I'd go ahead and show you guys how I put these in. Now, this one had one original one in it, but I popped it out. So, usually the original ones will leave behind like a chrome layer behind, because the stuff, the glue doesn't let go. The actual plating lets go off of the plastic jewel. So you'll still have some of this plastic in here, or that chrome plating will still be in the hole. So what I like to do, I'll take a drill bit and I'll stick it in there, and I'll just use my hands, and I'll just turn it by hand just to crack and break that excess glue and that original old plating out of there. So that way my new jewels will set right in place. Now, I got these off of eBay, and these actually came from China. These are craft jewels, I guess. Rhinestones. Now, these are exactly like what you're going to get if you buy the little 2 sets to a pack or something like that. It's the exact same size. Now, I can't remember exactly what these are off the top of my head, but I do know they are the exact same thing that a lot of eBayers sell. So I got on there and I ordered a little bag from someone. They were like, I think it was 6 sets for $6 or $7. But he messed up and he put the size on his in the description. So what I was able to do was pretty much go take that size and put that in on eBay. And I found 1,400 of them, which is what this is, for $5. So I got 1,400 of these things for $5. And they were free shipping. So I think that was a deal. I'll never have to hopefully buy any more again. If I do enough to use these, I got a problem. But I'm going to go ahead and get these in. I'll just show you how I do that. So I have this little bitty screwdriver here. First thing, I got to get me some out. Okay. Couldn't do that again in a million years. Stem there. Okay. Now what I like to do, I like to take a little bit of super glue, and I'm just going to put a little drop right here. Okay. And I'm going to use this screwdriver as an applicator. Alright. Give me a little bit on the end. We're just going to go in here. Sometimes I can get them to stick to my finger. Oops. Kind of like that. If I can get it to it. Okay. Dang it. Okay. You're just going to have to be stubborn, huh? Alright, there we go. Just going to kind of mash that in place. There's one of them. You don't want to put a lot of glue in here. If you do, it'll mess up. It won't look good. That's why I'm using this little screwdriver. Okay. There we go. 2 new marker jewels. I'll let that set for a few minutes. And then we'll come back and polish everything out. While that glue's drying, I figured I'd go ahead and get this piece ready. Now this is a blackened piece. They blackened it. These are identical between pretty much all of these style shells. The 224, 1666, this one, they're all pretty much identical. So, since it's black, I can use more traditional ways to make it look good again with shoe polish. So I'm just going to take a little bit of my shoe polish, basically rub it on here. The reason I'm doing this is because this thing has a lot of corrosion on it, white corrosion. I don't really like that. I want it to be shiny, or black. This is as black as I can get it. This stuff will kind of help hide that if I can get it in there. Sometimes I use this little paintbrush to get it into these harder to reach areas. Into the steps. And I just wash this in the sink with the shell. And I'm sure there's probably a better way of doing it. I mean, there always is. But this is the way I've found that kind of brings it back and it don't look too off. Especially once I buff it. hit it with a brush now. It will be kind of sticky for a while. It's because it's shoe polish. This was in a basement or something, I'm thinking. And it was in a humid area once. Over there, that is. Looks pretty good. And I also like to do that to things like this. Just drag the brush over it and it kind of gets rid of the corrosion on the surface. Shines the metal back up. Brings it back. See, that probably looks a lot better than it did. I also do it to the drive wheels. Brings them back. I also clean the drive wheels. I actually set it on its back, started the motor, and I just went over it with some 500 grit. Just let it kind of take that corrosion off. So that come back. That helped. Helped a lot. Alright, so I went on ahead and polished this off camera. It didn't get the staining out of the top of it, but it did bring the shine back. You can see it was already pretty shiny, but you can tell it helped a lot. So let's go ahead and do this shell. Now, I don't have a real good way of doing this. I just use the applicator that comes in the thing, which is kind of on its last legs. But so I'll get a little bit on it, a little dab. And you'll get it everywhere. Oops. You'll get it in the details. You'll get it in places you really wouldn't want it to be at. But luckily that brush gets it out. So I'm just going to start putting it down. And my applicator is rotten. That's why you see little orange or yellow clumps of foam. I'm just going to kind of dab it on. I'll go back over it with a paper towel and get any excess off. I might end up having to just put this thing together without that drive rod because it's going to be time to post this video before probably I get it. So I'll probably just have to rush and put it together and then go back later and put it on. Okay, I think that's good enough. And I go over it now with this paper towel just to get any of the excess off. Now if you notice, it's in all the details, But luckily this brush will get it out of the details. It ain't honestly doing a whole heck of a lot for it this time around. It might be because I didn't let the wax dry. Let the wax dry and come back, it'll probably shine right up even more. I mean, it's shinier than it was. I'm sure you guys probably ain't seeing that because I'm off camera. Okay. I can tell it's got a protection on it though. But yeah, this brush is wet, so. Yeah, it ain't really coming back too good this time, like I was hoping. I mean, it's better than it was, and it's got protection on it now. It don't look bad. Paint's just got a lot of corrosion on it. Kind of killing it. Killing the look. Not a big deal though. Alright. So I'm going to start putting this shell back together. The only thing I did was take the side rods and the bell off just so I could clean it, you know, and get details into it a little more. Alright, so I didn't have any luck getting that replacement drive rod that I was needing, so I've waited long enough. Figure it's time I get this thing back together. I went on ahead and put the shell back together. I might have showed that. Put a brand new headlight lens in because the original one was missing. But we're pretty much ready to go back together now, so I'm going to go ahead and start reassembling this thing. So I went on ahead and put a new headlight wire. Cleaned that up, changed it. And I cleaned up the drive rods and everything because they were rusty, if you remember, when I took it apart. So I got all that situated. Okay. I think I might have to loosen those up. I thought it come out. Okay. There we go. Grab a real screwdriver, snug those up. Alright. Now we got these two back holes. And as usual, I have mixed everything together, but I don't think it matters. They all look the same. These are tweezers that hold the screw in place. There we go. If you got a magnetic screwdriver, that'll work too. Or if you got little hands, that'll also work. That other one worked fine. I can't get this one to do it. Come on, you. I don't even know where I got those tweezers. I've had them for probably 20 years. Don't even know where they came from. Just one day I had them. I decided to leave this long. I don't like them when they're this long, but it's original. I've got the original tender, so I might as well leave it the way it came out. Supposed to have that on that, and then put it together. I was wondering why everything was going together so easy. That's why, because I wasn't doing it right. Tried to look up some parts for this thing, and I'm not having any luck finding much. This is a different type motor than the other 1664s. The other ones had the zinc casted motor chassis, and then it had two long screws that go all the way through the boiler shell. And this one has the stamped steel frame with the little wheels, and the wheels are closer together, which means the side rods, instead of them being this type, they're this type. See the difference there? Shorter by about half a hole. So I thought I had parts. I don't. I tried to get some. The man had them, but he couldn't find them, so he refunded me my money. So I'm just gonna have to get back on there and hunt, see if I can't find some more. They were on there, but that's been 2 weeks now since I ordered them, and he couldn't find them in his inventory, he said, so he wasn't able to send them to me. He just refunded me my money, which I guess that's okay. I would much rather have a refund than no parts. And also off camera I went on ahead and put on the new front pilot truck. All I did was just drill the top of that rivet out and pop it loose, put it on, tap it back on with a hammer, kind of tapped it up here, and then I super glued it. If it ever gives trouble and falls off, I'm going to be owning it anyway, so it's not a big deal. I can fix it back. Comes down to it, I can make another part, or buy another part to fix the thing back. The best thing to do would probably be to get a replacement rivet, or drill that rivet out and tap it. There's, I think, a Hot Wheels, what people use for Hot Wheels, I think that would probably fix it. People drill out that casting tower that they put the rivet in. They'll drill that out, tap it, and put a little machine screw, put it back together. Alright, what's next? Can't remember. Yeah, that's this side. Yeah. Okay. Kind of dug through my screw inventory. It originally had these, but I only had one of them, and I figure I'll save this for another project. So I'm just going to put it in the save drawer. And I went on ahead and dug through and found some that are more common. Actually, I don't know which side this was on. I think it was on this side. It's universal, it don't matter. The replacement eccentric I got for the other side, not really too happy about it because see how long that is? That's the original reproduction. It is literally not even an eighth of an inch from falling out of the hole. Not too thrilled about that, but what are you gonna do? I think I'm gonna start buying parts from the train tender. I got on there last night and was just looking around, see what all they had, because I didn't understand how it worked. I thought you needed part numbers for everything, but it actually goes by locomotive number. And I got on there under 1664, and they had this, had the drive rods. They didn't have these though. They've got them for the rest of them, but they don't have these short ones. So I'm going to have to try to cross some stuff over. These came on the big O-gauge versions of this with the big drive wheels. That was the connecting rods for those. That's why they're real short. And then on the later ones, I had the die cast frame for the motor. They widened up these wheels a little bit so that the normal rod would work. I found that kind of interesting. Okay. Flip this up. I have a feeling someone probably used this as a parts locomotive. Probably had a better one or something. Used it for parts. That's what I'm guessing anyway. Okay. Now these have two dividers. You get a real thin one and a thick one. I'm not really remembering which way they went, but I think the thick one goes between the wheel and the eccentric, or the side rod, to clear the brush plate. And then this one, I think, goes between here, I think that's right. If I've got it wrong, I'll fix it back. Luckily, I've got one of these I can look at to determine. Ah, dang it. Oh, shoot. This is a stubborn little guy. Alright. First. Second. I might be putting this together wrong. I don't know. I can't remember. I guess if something binds up, I'll fix it. There we go. am replacing these. It came with like a hex head bolt, but since I don't have another hex head bolt, but I did have 2 Phillips screws, I just figured I'd go ahead and put the Phillips head screws. Sometimes you gotta work with what you got on hand. Even if it ain't right. Let's see how that works. Well, I guess I got the spacers right. Ain't binding up or anything. I did not get that in there good though. Yeah, I got that off. Okay. Even though it's working. There it goes. Okay, yeah, I got it off. Flip it around. Okay, right there. There we go. Alright. Now how we looking? Alright, everything's good there. Now I just got to put this side on. A little bit of play in there because there's no side rod on it, but it is back together now. It looks okay. I like that side better. But I'm going to go ahead and oil these trucks up, front and rear. Put a little bit more oil on the wheels. I did clean the wheels. I can't remember if I mentioned that or not. But I'm going to go ahead, get this wrapped up, and we're going to go over there and try it on the track. Alright, so I got it on the table. I did have to do a little bit more work to it. The pickup contacts underneath were giving trouble. It kept cutting out on me, so I had to add a little bit of solder to the bottom of them, clean them up. It seems to be working a lot better now. I am probably going to buy 2 new ones, replace those because they're pretty well shot. And then I just got a little train. This is the only small pre-war that I have other than passenger cars. So let's see how good it goes around the track.